All right, welcome to our vocabulary for our timeline assignment. Don't forget to grab a pencil and piece of paper, take some notes as we're doing this. There is a quiz afterwards that you might want those notes for. And then make sure that as we're going, you're stopping the video as you need to in order to make sure you're getting definitions down and that you're understanding everything. All right, so our first vocabulary word is timeline. And a timeline is just a visual representation of events in chronological order. Timeline. Chronological order is the order that events actually happened in, as near as we can determine it. Traditionally, things are ordered first by year, then by month if needed, and then finally by date within the month if needed. And sometimes you will need those extra bits of information and sometimes you won't, just depending on what timeline you're constructing. Okay, but that's chronological order. CA stands for circa, it's an abbreviation, and this is a Latin term used by historians to mean approximately when talking about dates. It means that there's some debate about the specific date. We don't know it for sure, so we're estimating it for chronology purposes, right? To help us put things in the right order. So sometimes you'll see that just before a date, and that'll tell you that, okay, they're estimating that date. All right, BCE is before the Common Era. This is a relatively new terminology, new as in even since I was in college 20 years ago, kind of new, right? It's also sometimes referred to as BC. You'll see it that way in older documents, and that BC just stands for before Christ, because historically in the Western world we measure time as before and after the birth of Jesus Christ. Okay, and that is the birth by the before and after the birth, not the death. And so we count that, we left all the numbers the same, we just changed the way we labeled them. So that's any year before year zero, and those are going to function like negative numbers on a timeline. Okay, so the smaller the number, the closer you are to that year zero. Just like on a timeline, the smaller the negative numbers, the closer you are to zero. And the bigger the number for BCE time, the farther we are away, the farther back in history. Okay. CE, this one's also an abbreviation. It goes with BCE. So this one stands for Common Era. That's the era we live in right now. You'll also sometimes see that referred to as AD, or which stands for Anno Domini. You never see that spelled out, but it's AD, right? And that's Latin, and it just really means in the year of our Lord, right? So we trace it as being anywhere, again, after the birth of Jesus Christ. Historically was the way that was done. We've changed the label, but not the numbers. And so these are all the dates after year zero. So these are all the positive numbers on our timeline. So with these numbers, right, the smaller the number, just like with positive numbers on a number line, right? The smaller the number for CE dates, the closer it is to year zero, the farther it is away from where we're at right now. The larger the number, the closer it is to our current date. CE. All right, and then just to wrap things up, right? Don't forget you're welcome to use the notes that you took on the test, so please feel free to do that. For my 2 cents, I'd go take the test right now while everything was still fresh and before I had forgotten it. And then go ahead and hold on to these notes because they'll be helpful potentially to refer back to as we're going through this and subsequent assignments for the class. All right. If you have questions, if you need any help, please go ahead, reach out, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in class.